Half a second. Alright, so this is Abzan Glass. In this case, glass refers to Glass of the Guildpact, which is multicolored creatures you control get +1/+1/+1. So a couple of people have mentioned we should probably consider playing Hero, and I feel like that's probably a pretty good idea, right? I'm like Hero is like another card that's like very reasonable in terms of like another payoff for glass, and like someone mentioned Tristani seems odd. I actually really like Tristani, and this triggers on creature tokens too, right? Yeah, the heroes are monocolored, but like just because hero doesn't synergize with this card doesn't mean it's bad in general. I mean, it's not a non-bo, like, just because you have two individually powerful cards that aren't synergistic together doesn't mean you shouldn't play both of those good cards, is basically what it comes down to. I'm gonna cut these Knight of Autumns and an Oglark, I think, and put these in. Maybe a Cavalier, leave all my 2-drops. Yeah, it works with literally every other spell, so I think that's probably a good idea. Do I want Knights in the sideboard? Nah, probably not. The extra Pontiff might be the better cut. Yeah, I'm gonna leave the other Cavalier. I think that card seems sweet. Oh, it does make multicolored tokens as well. Yeah, all right, let's do that. Let's pop in. The deck seems sweet, and like one of the things that like when I look at brews like this is like the number of playable cards in this deck is like incredibly high, right? Like you look at this deck and you compare it to say the other cards that other decks in the format are playing, and like a lot of these cards have overlap with other cards. They're just like good Magic the Gathering cards. Yikes. That's pretty bad. I'm gonna go ahead and mulligan. Yay, Magic. I'm gonna keep this and I'm just grind to a black source. We haven't played any games with Poison Tip Arch yet. In general, I've been very happy with that card and other shells that we've played. It's basically a removal spell because it does have Death Touch, and it makes your board states very difficult to interact with. Poison Tip Archer, do you believe the low amount of 3-drops? So, you don't have to play a 3-mana spell on turn 3. So, like, if you look at the deck, we've got 14 2-mana spells. So you can go, like, 2-drop on 2, 2-drop on 3 again to curve out. Looks like a Fog matchup. This is probably not a good matchup for us if I had to venture a guess. Is it better to keep a spell-heavy hand and hope to get lands, or a land-heavy hand and hope to draw spells? So, it depends on the quality of your spells that you have, basically. So, like, in this hand, if I drew lands, the spells I was casting were going to be very reasonable, which I think makes the keep decent. Alright, well, good news is I can interact with that. Where can you watch the Gate Deck games? You can find them later on my website. There's actually already videos up there from the past, but you'll be able to find the games that we played today on my website, my YouTube channel, early tomorrow morning. I'll get them uploading and processing tonight, and they'll probably be scheduled to publish about 6 hours from now or so. I waited till they made a move to mortify this because my opponent's archetype sometimes plays Frilled Mystic, which could counter my spell if I reacted while they weren't tapped out. The Scry is really great. It helps create a lot less non-games of Magic, which is a good thing. Which I like better, Teamer lands or 4-color lands? I don't know. Are you talking about Gates? Do you mean the Gates deck? Definitely 4-color if you're talking about Gates. Why have you been main decking Knight of Autumn? because of this deck. I mean, the disenchants are like only okay in this matchup. Definitely Forkle. You can find my preferred Deeds configuration on my website. Although, I'm probably going to make a couple of small changes to it tomorrow after I get time to digest what we played today. I never played Paper Magic. If you mulligans, you didn't get to scry. The scry rule is, it's not, I wouldn't call it relatively new anymore, but it's like within the last 5 years or so. So, Magic existed for 20 years or so without that mechanic. Yeah, 2014 or 2015, somewhere in there. Man, they're about to settle my wreckage, aren't they? Oh, you know what? I shouldn't have done this. So this kind of sucks because they could settle me. I want to wait until I'm not gonna attack with these. I'm only gonna attack with these two. All right, don't even have to make a decision. So ideally, I only want to attack with these into a settle when I have mana up for this, because I want to sacrifice these in response to settle. What probably happened was someone went for the timeout button and hit ban by mistake. Yeah, we talk about politics on occasion, Brecken. In fact, I was in charge of bringing it up, like I often am, when a hot button topic hits. Twitch baby or something like that. Take my money. Thank you, Eggs are good for the 9-month resub. I appreciate that. Is enamored with chat and attacks the TV while it scrolls. That's great.
Right on schedule. Hurry.
Getting those numbers up, Tudors. I like that. Gotta pump them up. This is your 9th timeout. Pumping up them rookie numbers. Never forget, chat, when you stop having fun playing a game of Magic, you should concede and move on to the next one. I get that your rank is important and like you enjoy watching your rank number go up, but when your game stops being a good time, move along with your life. Vona's probably a little bit too slow. I think I want to get rid of Poison Tip Archer too. Trim 1 Mortify, 2 Trophy. I don't want too many interactive cards in my deck because I do need to apply pressure here. Now I think Trophy's pretty important because not only does it kill enchantments, but it like also takes their Tefreeze off the table. This seems fine. Not amazing, but fine. Because it can get around fogs. Huh. That's an interesting idea. Maybe that makes Poison Tip Archer better than Conclave Cavalier. They did show me Cleansing Nova, though. So, like, if they have Cleansing Nova, this card tends to be a little bit better. Maybe I'm just supposed to Mortify this. Yeah, maybe I'm just supposed to Mortify this. No, Poison Tip triggers on tokens. It's not, Judith. Yeah, I think Black-White Angels is great still. We've not played Mardu Angels on stream. There's one, I think there's one or even maybe even 2 copies of it in the queue though, so we're gonna get to it at some point. I paid for the land in case I needed to sacrifice to this. Also, my health total just like really doesn't matter in this matchup. Yeah, I think this card's great. This card's gonna be a staple in every black-white deck for the rest of the season. So I'm mortifying during their upkeep because they showed us a Sinister Sabotage last game. So this way, if they have a counterspell for this, they have to use their mana on this turn instead of on my turn and then getting to untap immediately. Seraph of the Scales. This card is very good. Yep. They're just casting Carnage, draw a card plus Fog here. I really wanted to draw a land there, so that way I could play Conclave Cavalier plus hold up Pontiff activation, but I think I'm supposed to still play Cavalier here. I just need to add more pressure to the table. I can't play this card. I don't have the colors. Yikes. Alright, Seraph it is. Yeah, they don't... Magic doesn't nerf cards. They either... Things are either legal or they're not. They don't readjust the power level like you see in Hearthstone and some other digital games. What does glass mean? If you look at the deck list, you'll see a card named Glass. Alright, well they cast a sweeper here, and I still have 4 power leftovers. That bodes well for me. So it's unfortunate that they're... So if I play this, they're dead on board, right? Yeah, we're gonna play this. This is worse against another sweeper, but if they have another Cleansing Nova, they have another Cleansing Nova. I think putting them dead on board is important here. So I could play Cavalier and hit them for 4 down to 9, but then I only have 8 power in play and they're at 9, so I think just like saying, okay, you're dead, kill me your combo. Like sweep my border combo. He's mean to me. Yeah, I think we're probably dead. I don't think I was in a position to beat the second Cleansing Nova there. Reverse. Alright. Alright. So you're saying there's a chance. Take a chance on me. Do 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 do. Oh, that's true, Zeta. I didn't reassess my summary with the Tristani in my hand. Okay, yeah, you're right. You're right. I should have played the Cavalier because the Tristani is still lethal the following turn. Thank you for being specific. You are super correct. I'm gonna play this so 1 piece of spot removal is not enough to end the game. So if they have like another Teferi, they're still dead. Yeah, you just type /unban and then the username in chat. Well, they already had the untapped land because they ditched a forest, so I assume they were digging for Root Snare. Yeah, I think the person who pointed out my sequencing was wrong with the Tristani was very correct. I think we would have won this game with correct sequencing. Maybe I'm supposed to play this other Cavalier out just because they're insulated against sweepers anyways. Yeah, if they like tuck both of my creatures here, I think we're gonna lose this game because I messed up. I should have played the other Cavalier. Yeah, wow. That's I'm just gonna move along. Just gonna move along. In the words of the greatest poet of our generation, let's just shake it off and move on to the next one. Got two pretty big mistakes there. I think I likely would have pulled that out if I would have made either of those two decisions differently. Yeah, the only points to help that matter are the last ones. What's my favorite Bant flash list right now? You can find that on my website, Darth. Click jeffhoagland.com and then standard decks at the top. I'm not playing best of one because I don't care about my rank and I don't find best of one to be very fun Magic. Magic's a game that's got a lot of variance in it. If you play best of one, it has even more variance. This is my first time playing ranked, and we are only silver 1, so I have no idea. So far, we've been playing against all what I would consider real decks, like decks full of rare cards that are like decks that you would expect to see at a Magic tournament. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead, since I'm on the play, I'm just gonna go ahead and kill the ramp here and just, like, be aggressive. Alright. We probably have a number of people who aren't any of my normal viewers. I'd encourage folks to make sure you're familiar with the stream rules before you post in chat. There's some specific ones in there that give good advice on how to give constructive feedback. It'll save you a 10-minute break. Yeah, I assume bidding the Crisis means that they either had this or they're digging for a land here. Ooh. I think I'm gonna do this and then ship with both of these. Because if they block here, I'll sack this and make it indestructible. Yeah, Pontiff's kind of sweet. It's like pseudo unblockable, basically. So I shocked in that 5th land, that way I could threaten to sacrifice my new Conclave Cavalier to make this indestructible and eat their 3/4 if they blocked it. We're the aggro deck in this matchup, and by that I mean, while we're both kind of mid-range strategies, my opponent's deck has a lot more value in it, and it's going to draw more cards and generate more 2-for-1s as the game goes long. So the onus is on me or my deck to pressure them out of the game before the game goes too long. They have an Assassin's Trophy removal spell or something here. Do I want to top deck a land here? That's an interesting question. I think I do. I think land is good here. Thanks, Grim. Sorry for the misclick. So, I'm going to sack this in response. We're really hoping to not get Finality next turn. think if we get Finality next turn, we're kind of dead. It feels like we're heading in that direction. I wonder if I'm supposed to Poison Tip Archer just because we're heading in the direction of Finality. That card's so good. Why does Finality give something two +1 counters? It's so absurd. Maybe they don't have the 6th land. Sweet. This Poison Tip Archer should wrap things up then. This does trigger on tokens too, right? Yeah, it does. It triggers on their creatures dying too, which is absurd. If they don't have a removal spell here, we should be in the clear. They're actually dead on board, right? Yeah, they're actually dead on board. They block these and they take 3, 7, 8 and they're dead. I don't even show them Poison Tip Archer then, right? Yeah, Sultai control might be okay. There's a lot of good tools there. Tristani's 3rd line of text is really good against blue-black, and it's good against Esper midrange because it's good against Thief of Sanity and Hostage Taker. Right? Just to like double check my math, they block 4 things. They take hit from these other ones. They take 3, 7. Apparently they didn't do the math either. I assume they just concede once we hit the attack with all button, but meh. Damage. Definitely happy to have that happen that way. Like I said, we definitely need to be the ones to run them down, because as this game goes along, they're going to outclass all of our creatures very quickly. Is this an Immortal Sun matchup? This is probably an Immortal Sun matchup, right? It, like, shuts off their Vivian. What do I want to cut, though? So when he's an under creature, do you think that having her is worth it for the dig? 6 is a lot. 6 is a lot. I don't know. If you were to trim my zone, it'd have to be something over like Vona. Think we cut Vona? I don't know. She kills target thing. Like if Sun is good, this is probably okay. Immortal Sun is good with our go wide plan as well, which is kind of nice. Counter spells and discard spells are your best way to beat things like Teferi. I wonder if there's enough lands in this deck. I think this deck's probably about 1 land short. If you look at the curve, this deck like really needs to hit 4 lands on time, and only having 24 lands probably isn't enough to do that. Might want like a Memorial to Folly or 2 in here. What's going on, Gorks? Yeah, you're catching us right at the tail end. We just rolled past the 12-hour mark. I said I was gonna do 12 plus today, so 13 sounds like a good target. Yeah, I agree, Hikaku. I think if you're any kind of mid-range deck that doesn't play Planeswalkers, you should definitely have some Immortal Suns in the 75. Erasure's great. We played Blue-Black Pirates earlier today, and it was a total gas. I forgot how much fun that deck is. You can't run. You are given a 10-minute timeout for using the word cancer as an insult or the butt of a joke. Please don't do that on my channel. Thank you. Now, I think you almost always run it out on 2. Like, Hero's a card where, like, the floor on it is, like, it trades tempo even. Like, you trade your 2-mana card for, like, their 2-mana removal spell. And The upside is high where it can just, like, win the game if they don't have it, right? We have not drawn a copy of Glass yet. This hand's a good example of why we probably want one more land. Yikes. I do what I can, O-Beam. Glad to have you here. There actually aren't any cards from the new set worth playing in it. Just like none of them are very... So, I realize Memorial to Folly wouldn't help this hand, but that might be the card I want. Actually, I wonder if we just want White Memorial. White Memorial makes tokens, which is sweet. Yeah, the Pirates deck is not arena budget friendly. If you're looking for a cheap paper Magic deck, though, the Pirates deck is dirt cheap to build in paper, because they're all bulk rares in paper. It's like the mana base and then bulk rares, pretty much. I guess Thief is probably a couple bucks. But yeah, a lot of cards not worth a lot in paper. Is it cheaper than Mono Blue? No, probably not, because it is dual lands. As far as like 2-color decks go, it's very cheap though. All right, let's curve out to 4 here, shall we? What's my favorite standard paper deck? My favorite standard deck that I would build in paper? I really like blue-green Climb in this current format. What do you think of Flower Flourish? That's actually a really... So, I was gonna say it's a good suggestion, but the problem with Flower Flourish is that it can't get swamps. It only gets plains and... forests. Which means I'd have to put more basics in my deck, which might make the mana worse. It was a rough night for me and Kid Marty. It was a little bit of a slog. What's the deck of the day? The deck of the day today, when I do long days like this, I usually pick 2. So my 2 picks that I'm going to make for today are Blue-Black Pirates and 4-color Gates. As someone who does spend a lot of time in their chair, do I have a recommendation? I actually am not a fan of this one. DX Racer is one of the sponsors for Tempo Storm, and I'm actually supposed to be getting a chair from them sometime in the next week. So, hopefully once that happens, I can let you know if those feel good. Everyone I know that has a racer highly recommends them. So, I was actually looking into getting one when Tempo Storm contacted me and like, we can get you one because they're a sponsor, and I was like, God bless. Yay, perks. I don't know why they keep not blocking my 2/2, but God bless them. So, now they have to block my 2/2, because otherwise they're going to die. So I'm going to play Oglark out, so that way I can sacrifice this to give this Death Touch. I'm all about the perks and the bennies. With Niv or without? We only played like 1 match with Niv in it, Mr. Vendriz. It was real awkward. I don't think that, yeah, there's a complaint bin in the corner. It's round. You might have to put a new bag in it because I took it out the other day, but there is a complaint bin in the corner. let's add at least one land to this deck. Any deck that wants to curve as high as this one does should definitely be on 25. And I think because I'm playing this card, I actually want a white Memorial. It's pretty okay with Tristani too, which seems unreasonable. The Jeskai Super Friends deck was actually kind of sweet today. Felt pretty reasonable. To file your complaint, click the large red X in the upper right-hand corner of your screen, please. We're playing best of 3 ranked. Pretty much only play best of 3 on this channel. It's my preferred way to play Constructed Magic. Nice, Adam. Yeah, this is fine, right? MTG Arena is a godsend for me, for people who would solitaire their decks all week waiting for FNM. Yeah, Buba, for sure. Magic, digital Magic just makes playing Magic super convenient, right? Four color is my preferred build of Gates, for sure. This is a good start from the opponent. We're gonna have a tough time here. Like I mentioned in our last match, we kind of need to be the aggressor in a matchup like this and pressure them out of the game. And Wild Growth Walker into Explore Creature is gonna buffer their health total a lot, which is gonna make it as difficult for us to be able to pressure them out. Man, I can tell it's been a long stream, so I finished both my water bottles and my iced tea.
Would you like to see what's left of Scott?
Although I have to say, this headset is great.
You can't
After 10 hours, normally I'd be like janking at my old headset. This one does not crush my head. Niv, thanks for the Tree Fitty, I appreciate it. For Tree Fitty, Jeff might consider your complaints the people that pay his bills control the content, and I want better content. 24-hour cube stream. Probably never. I'm gonna pack this in. There's no way we're beating them, getting 6 more. Like, the board stalled here. They're generating card advantage with the Vivian. Headset confirmed, only personal equipment. This is actually another sponsor perk, Lucid Audio. They're actually running a promo right now through Tempo Storm. They've got a 30% discount on headsets, I think. There should be a link below the stream. I also didn't really care when I bought my old headset. It was just like a cheap USB one, and the audio quality difference between a throwaway USB headset and something that's like reasonable quality is like night and day. I was like, well, I don't think it really matters what land we lead on here. Do you have any tips for dealing with the grind of a long tournament day and maintaining quality of play? Nah, nothing too specific. Just the pretty typical. Make sure you stay hydrated and eat a lot. This is the first time we've drawn glass and we didn't have a 2-drop to go with it. I'm gonna Mortify this elf because my mana is tied up for the next 2 turns. So I might as well use it this turn, so I'm not gonna be able to use it the next turn. So this also cuts them off of being able to play a 5-drop next turn, which is ideal. Woof. That was kind of the whole game plan right there. That was kind of the whole game plan. The complaint button is the X in the corner. It's like when you'd games, how do you do X? Alt F4 is the hotkey for that. You can find my decks on my website. Click standard at the top. All right, my body is ready to get Finality here. Could Underrealm Witch be considered a better draw at the top of your curve instead of Vona? I don't know. Vona's like, so this deck doesn't have a ton of spot removal in it, so... What was that bug? Did y'all, can someone clip that real quick? Did you see the find just came out of my deck with it was the Hydroid Crassus animation, right? It like drew it with the Hydroid Crassus animation? Weird. So I'm gonna hold on to this so I can get 2 creatures back with it later. Because if they like hit a sweeper here, I want to pick back up Seraph and Poison Tip. So this is gonna leave 4 power behind, then it's gonna do 2 to them. And then I get to pick Poison Tip Archer back up and put it into play. Oh, it doesn't count itself, it only does. That makes sense. Does not count itself, got it. Yeah, all the ranked is the same on here. So this puts them to 5. And then if they sweep again, they go down to 3. Okay, fair. Yep. 1 Lethal Angel, please. Believe it or not, the card that we named our deck after was very good there. Knowing about Cry of Canarium, I think is going to change how I'm sideboarding here. I'm going to board out some of my bottom end that's weak to that card. Yes, if you've already tapped your creature, giving it Vigilance will not untap it. Hey, I see. Thank you for the 2-month resub. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me employed here. Yeah, this matchup feels kind of hard. I feel like this really feels like one of those mid-range aggro style decks that the Sultai deck just really preys upon. Our deck has some aggressive starts, but we're not aggressive enough that we can like get under like what Wild Growth Walker and stuff is doing. And once they bridge into this mid game where they're just like casting giant Krasis after giant Krasis, we just really can't keep up here. Yeah, we're done here. Yeah, you basically just never want to be the non-Krasis deck in the mirror. Every time we get specifically a Prime sub, I'm not sure actually, Brecken. I'll have to ask the Dan Bopes, the creator. I know I could have it do something when someone subs, but I don't know if it could differentiate a Prime sub. Yeah, maybe we definitely just needed a little bit more pressure, right? Your concession instincts are unrivaled. Listen, I played a lot of Magic. I'm pretty apt at knowing when I'm dead. And like when I'm playing a game where I'm dead and can't win anymore, I'm not just wasting my time, right? Like I'm wasting, you know, 1,500 people's time. This was much better than Knight of whatever would have been here. Our curve here is actually going to be pretty sweet off a hero. You love Krasis, but hate the Explore package. Jim Davis was playing something that was Krasis without the Explore package. So probably Mortify this and smash them this turn. Just gonna like curve right out here being aggressive. It's actually like a really solid aggressive start from us on the play, right? Like Hero into Kill Your Thing, into Cavalier, into Tristani. How do you fight Mono Red without the life gain from Walker? Green decks have a hard time beating Mono Red without Walker. Walker's a pretty integral point to beating Mono Red if you're playing green. That's why the Wild Growth Walker package is so popular, is because it's very good against red. That's true. The 4-color Gates deck is Krasis without Explore. I forgot about that one. That deck does a lot.
I didn't live through hell to lose to you.
So we're in a good spot until they cast Finality next turn and dumpster us. I guess if they Finality next turn, I get 2/2s left over, and then I get to kill their Vivian.
No one knows the wilds like I do.
The problem is, again, here, like, we're ahead on board a little bit, but they just have so many cards in their hand. It's like going up to 18 here. Yep. So I get to do this, which like lets me attack here, I guess. These two live through the guild. This lets my X4s live through Finality, which is really good. Yeah, and not only is the life gain good in a lot of places, but the Explore package is good in general because it makes your deck more consistent, right? Like, you find your land drops, you get to, like, thin through your bad draws with it. It's one of the reasons why it's so powerful. It's not, like, the fact that the Explore package gains life is, like, icing on the cake, basically. I'm gonna be honest, I don't know what the text box of Flatley Radiant Champion is. I couldn't tell you how much mana that card costs or what any of its abilities are. Card legendary? It is not. Huh. It's interesting. Oh, that makes a lot of sense. Just like never beat this Wild Growth Walker. Ugh. And like I really feel like this game highlights. No, we played the red-white Huatli. There's a green-white Huatli they're talking about. This game highlights one of the issues, right? Like, our deck curved out perfectly. We did absolutely everything our deck wanted to do this game, and it just wasn't good enough. I mean, would Mortify have fixed this? They cast Fine Finality this game. They would have just picked their Walker back up and kept on trucking. Like, I've got an okay board, but, like, now I need to kill Midnight Reaper and I need to kill Wild Growth Walker. Alright, we've got something that flies to break the board stall. I really kind of feel like if you're not playing Krasis in your mid-range deck, you probably need to have, like the Angel-style decks, like, Abzan Angels or Black-White Angels or all these different Angel combinations. You can fly over stall boards like this.
Draw and fire.
The problem is these other mid-range decks that are attacking on the ground just don't have a good axis to fight these Sultai decks on. You can't go long against this card, and you can't punch through these board states, is the issue. I guess I just do this and trade here, right? That attack was, like, really bad for my opponent, huh? Do I just, like, tell them to sort it out? Alright, I don't know. I've been playing Magic for 12 and a half hours. I'm pretty sure this attack is good. I don't have, like, even when I'm fresh, I don't know that I have the mental capacity to figure out all the permutations here, but I think the permutations are mostly good for me. This seems like a needless amount of damage they took. So, I get that they went to 3, so it looks like I could have attacked them with the Spirit, but if I would have attacked them with the Spirit, they just would have chump blocked with one of their 1/1s. So, didn't miss anything there. My opponent just would have had to block differently. Yeah, exactly, Persip. There's a lot of people that tend to, like, kind of shut down on large board states. And, like make attacks like that. That last one did. Yeah, Flower Flourish is interesting. The problem with Flower Flourish is that, or the thing you need to consider is that, like, we'd have to rebuild our mana base to get probably at least 4 basics into it to make the Flower perk good. So they've got 5, 9, 10, 11. So this Krasis is going to be for 9. Are they dead? Are they dead? They're dead, right? They take 6. They have 4 blockers. All right, their really bad attack killed them. They should not have attacked with their 8-10. They took the ball and kicked it to us. They would have left that 8-10 back. I would not have had good attacks the following turn. I would not have good attacks this turn. Things just really snowballed from them since they took their big defensive creature out of play. Definitely stole that one. This a try. The last Sultai opponent had Cry of the Canarium in against us, so I'm going to cut the 2/1 with Afterlife to play around that card a little bit. Yeah, it's going to be the last deck of the evening, the Freak. We've been playing for about 40 minutes or so probably play one more match after this. Have a good one, Brecken. Have a good weekend. I'm going to be live again at some point tomorrow, probably like mid to late afternoon. Won't be doing as long as I did today, but we'll probably do 5 or 6 hours at least. Do I want just more removal? I don't know. Bant or Teamer Pod, but I'm too afraid to spend my wild cards. Do you think either version is decent in the current meta? I think I prefer Teamer. Teamer also probably ports into more decks better. Like, porting Teamer Pod into, like, a Gruul Rhythm deck is, like, not unreasonable. Alright, well, we got a couple temples at tilt here, but the sand's pretty good otherwise. Do I ever get bored of Magic? I get bored with certain aspects of Magic, but not with the game as a whole, usually. Magic is like so many different mini games. Like, changing decks in Magic is honestly like playing a new game a lot of the time. Changing formats is almost certainly like playing a new game. Which, that's part of... Yeah, the Blue-Black Pirates deck in my Stream Decker is great. That's the one we played today. I like it a lot. Yikes! 2-1 Divination. Yikes. Lands are overrated. It's fine. We stole game 1. We can steal game 3 on the play. This is the same match. I'm playing the best of 3 ladder, so we sideboarded and we're playing this as post board. Although, excuse me, I think we played against Sultai 2 or 3 times now with this deck. Okay. Alright. So, you're saying there's a chance. I'm gonna hold this back because I eat the 2-1. Do I want to eat the 2-1 though? Maybe I'm just supposed to attack there. There is a Mardu... There is a Mardu deck that you can find on my website. That's a Mardu aggro deck with Judith that I like a lot. This attack is really bad because it lets me mortify the Midnight Reaper and then kill their Planeswalker here, which is like a pretty big win for me. I was almost going to concede there, but then they made the attack and they like left an opening for me to get through here. They should definitely leave this back here. I think the 2 points of damage they got by making that attack was not worth the risk of losing their Planeswalker like they did here. Yeah, that's correct, Cooley. There aren't any cards for Dimir in the set, really. None of the single color cards really fit the theme of what we're looking for. Probably dead. Yeah, Flower does proc Hero. Flower counts as a multicolored spell. Please keep in mind, you need to be respectful when you critique my opponent's play. So you'll note when I point out a play I feel they made was a mistake, I talk about why they did it, so that way if my opponent comes back and watch, they can understand why a different line might be better. Just laying into my opponent and saying bad plays or mistake and all that's not welcome here. It doesn't help people learn, it's not constructive. So please don't do that for my opponent's play, just like I request you do not do it for mine. Sideboard in our Death Touch. Which Death Touch? I have a bunch of Death Touch things in my deck. Bruce Alive with the brand new tier 1 sub. Thank you very much and welcome. I appreciate that. Thanks for keeping me employed here. God, we have not been fortunate with our mana. And we even added a 25th land. No, I don't think a splash is good in the Pirates deck. I like having just good 2-color mana. Let's try and find a non-Sultai opponent to wrap things up. You get to the higher ranks of MTG. Do you ever do that? Do you ever see that as an issue? See what is an issue? Alright. One more match. One more match. Sportsmanship? Nah, not really. There's been a lot of Sultai in gates for sure. Topping a non-land there feels good, but I just don't think I should be. I don't think I can wait till turn 4 to make a play. Yeah, I'd imagine your matchup against... Okay, sweet. So not Sultai. Like I said, if I were to look at this deck on paper and look at the Sultai matchup, I would assume that the Sultai matchup is really bad for a deck like this. So, like, the fact that we were able to steal some games there is, like, very reasonable. Just sucks that we can't control the variety of, like, what we're playing against. Which is actually, like, a good example. Like, people often talk about, like, using Magic Arena to test for tournaments. And the fact that you can't control what you play against on this application, and Magic Online and FNM and smaller tournaments, generally means just playing random matches isn't typically very good testing, because in testing, you would want to play against a variety of decks, because you expect to play against a variety of decks in most tournaments. So, like, if you, like, okay, I think this deck's really good against everything not Sultai, but I'm going to eat it to Sultai, and I'm okay with that, and then, like, you only queue into Sultai, that ends up being a little bit medium, right? I would like to trade here, please. Please attack. Yeah, I agree, Derelict, but like, for instance, like, let's say you have, let's say we have direct challenge. Like, you could play with friends and get to play against a variety of matches that way, too. I'm gonna do this, just put this into play tapped. Hopefully we hit an untapped land next turn and get the Jam Cavalier down their throat. This can block here, this can trade here. They're gonna attack with us and deal 3 to us. If they have another Chain Whirler here, we're gonna be in trouble. Land. I wouldn't post that in chat, Chef Seth. That is, that's against the terms of service, so if that's something you're doing, that's between you and your friends, but I would not advertise that. Because activating the Pontiff costs a mana, and I didn't have a mana. Is Pirates my pick of the day? Yeah, definitely. I'm going to pick 2 today since I played so many decks. It's going to be Pirates and 4 Color Gates are both going to get added to my favorites page. I don't think I picked a favorite yesterday, so I'm going to put Pirates and 4 Color Gates up there. Love to play first. I think I can keep this on the play. Like, this card's actually really good in this matchup. Like, absurdly so. So, getting to curve this into this, yeah, perfect. Set a 5th land on time. You can find the Pirates deck on my website. JeffHoagland.com. Click Standard Decks, click Blue Black Pirates. That's true. This card is a little bit awkward in the face of Lava Coil. In fact, it's so awkward, I'm going to lead on Seraph because I'd rather they Lava Coil this than Lava Coil this. So, while Teysa synergizes with what cards in this deck are doing, playing more 4-mana spells to make your cards that are 4-mana spells better tends to be a little bit win more. Like, a card that's only good when you have your other good cards in play isn't fantastic. You can add decks to the deck cube by following the directions here. Well, that was probably the absolute worst possible outcome I could have had there. Yikes. Yikes. I am ready to get Lava Coiled because that's how this set of matches has been going. Survey says, whew, whew. Oh, lordy, we did it. We dodged the ball. You dodge the Lava Coil, you can dodge a ball. So I'm aware that they can shock this and then kill it with First Strike, but that's fine. Are we doing cables tonight? Maybe? Maybe? I'm kind of spent. I don't know that I can do cables tonight. I've got like 2 hours of post work to do. I guess better question. Now I have to use the internet to like get stuff done. So are you around tomorrow morning? What time do you roll out of bed? We're gonna hook my streaming computer up with a wired internet connection so we can stop having the occasional connection issues that we've had. Although my wireless bridge has worked well today. Sounds good, Klutz. I like how, like, immediately after we have the be nice to my opponent's conversation, people are like, just come on. Come on. I think we're 1 and 2. I honestly don't remember. I don't keep track of the records with the decks while we play. I don't really care about their final win-loss rate at the end of the day. The takeaway is that the Sultai matchup seems incredibly hard for it. I'm honestly not sure that a mid-range deck like this has a good way to fix that. Maybe it probably involves more flying creatures if it does, but I don't know that there's other flying creatures we can play that work with the glass. Vigilance is very good in this matchup, I agree. How justifiable is chumping with the tokens to heal 3? I don't think it's very justifiable with the health total that I'm currently at. Alright, the portion of the game where the burn deck has to start killing your creatures is usually where they're losing. Apparently they didn't realize they could attack with that. Apparently they didn't realize it has vigilance. Apparently they didn't realize it has vigilance. Like to know your take on Journey to Eternity and Golgari decks. I think the payoff for Journey to Eternity is not quite high enough to make up for all the hoops you have to jump through to make it work. So there's so much exile removal and just like cheap spot removal that makes Journey really awkward. All right, let's end on a W here. Let's get this one and wrap it up. Thanks everyone for hanging out today, especially people that are here through the bulk of it. We're approaching hour 13, so this is going to be my last game of the night. I'll be back at some point tomorrow. Remember, if you enjoy my stuff and you want to see more of it, check out my website and my YouTube channel, jeffhoagland.com, on youtube.com/jeffhoagland. After I do finish here, I'll give a host to someone else who's playing Arena this evening. Yeah, I don't know that the 4 points of damage there ultimately really mattered. Double Shockland kind of feels a little bit bad against mono red, but the spells in this hand are really good, so this is definitely a keep. Yeah, it should be in the queue and just generically up on my website. There's a standard decks page for that one. Maybe I'm supposed to play Pontiff there. I'm probably supposed to play Pontiff there. So it doesn't die to Chain Whirler. At least it left a friend behind. Direct Current. Huh. That is not what I've seen before. Okay, link by Esper Flash deck. You can go to my YouTube channel and find it. I don't have a link handy for you offhand. I'm pretty sure there's a link in the deck queue as well. I'm pretty sure that one's coming back up again soon. So, lots of good ways to find those deck lists. All of my YouTube videos have the deck list in the video description in both a link to Stream Decker as well as an importable format for Arena. So always try to stay organized around here. Deal. Land. Yeah, high curve decks without the Explore package are tough. High curve decks without the Explore package are tough. Please play something that dies to Moment of Craving. I'll appreciate you forever. Yikes. They're probably dead here. Yeah, the curve in this deck is really high for how few lands it's playing. We're just dead. It's like... Yeah, my takeaway here is this is a pretty typical kind of what I would refer to as a mid-range aggro deck, which means it just has a really hard time beating the Explore package and the go over the top power that Sultai has, which puts it kind of a dog to what I would expect to be the best or most popular deck in the format, at least until something else reveals itself. And then you combine that with the fact that our curve is really high and we're only playing 25 lands. We actually went up from 24, but like not having an Explore package or a way to see extra cards means we're going to stumble a lot in a deck like this, or get caught up in games where you just have like a bunch of 4 and 5 mana spells and we're just like stuck on 3 or stuck on 4 and can't cast them. So this deck's kind of an interesting collection of cards, but I definitely think this is one of the weaker multicolor / hero decks that I've played. The synergies that we have going on just like don't really make up for how much clunky it felt like it tended to have. That's going to be it for me today, folks. I'll catch y'all on later. Thanks for sticking through to the end. Hope everyone has a fantastic start to your weekend. Thanks for stopping by. Mr. Durward is streaming, so I'm going to send y'all over his way. Have a good one.